Hey everyone, it's spooky season. Can't you tell? I need to find the scariest story I can for a Halloween gathering. Once upon a time, I drove around town picking up things to eat with a fake driving license. First time for everything.
What does it mean to have a license? It means we have the permission to do something that the license permits. Take licensed games for example. The owner of the IP licenses them out to a game developer to make a game. No, you can't just make something out of an intellectual property without the owner's permission. Dang it, we'll get back to you. Tsuburaya Productions, the creators and owners of the Ultraman brand, are some of the more willing companies in regards to licensing their brand out to people. And at best, some amazing collaborations. Maybe a little too willing. Heck, you can even apply for their license on their website if you want. But it's always been a part of Tsuburaya's ambition to expand the brand name, especially to foreign countries. Thanks to this, we've gotten lots of nice ventures, namely Ultraman The Adventure Begins, which was a project together with the animation giant Hanna-Barbera, Ultraman Reboot, who debuted in the Malaysian cartoon Upin and Ipin, and most recently, the upcoming Netflix original Ultraman movie. While it is ultimately still pretty niche in the international atmosphere, there's no doubt the Ultraman brand is beloved by many around the world.
So why don't we steal it?
For every Ultraman reboot, there's an Ultraman Millennium. Like that one classmate you don't trust, there's been several unlicensed Ultraman projects in the past by irresponsible parties that just bring some funny colors to the history. Tsuburaya's history of legal and financial troubles is kinda well known among the fandom and the tokusatsu circles, but let's maybe save the entire story for another day. What I do want to bring up today is a part of those troubles, some unlicensed Ultraman stuff. And there is also the glaring issue of unlicensed bootleg merchandise, which happens to nearly every major property, but today we'll only be talking about media like shows and movies.
We're talking tales of delusion and illegitimacy, the scariest things around.
Note that parodies and spoofs don't count, as these kind of things aren't serious, so no sexy parodies. Also, a lot of the information we're seeing today is referenced from the Ultraman wiki, so big thanks to those guys over there. Where do I start? Probably the most infamous company in Tsuburaya and Ultraman's legacy. Chaiyo Productions is a Thai production company which made tokusatsu shows, and is also responsible for the spread of the genre in the country. It was also responsible for a long-standing copyright conflict with Tsuburaya Productions. But let's see what nonsense illegal stuff they made. Project Ultraman.
That's what you name something if you have complete confidence that you own that something. It's what I named my pants.
Project Ultraman is a planned series of projects, including a full-length show, stage performances, and even films. This project is way ambitious, with some productions set to take place in Tibet and the Gobi Desert, and they even planned an Ultraman theme park. An Ultraman theme park! Let's see what this project synopsis is all about. To sum it up, Earth's axis had been disrupted, causing humanity to almost go extinct. Then eventually humanity made progress and created the Earth Defense Force and Base 64. Then, when 13 aliens show up and attack, some guy gets the power to become Ultraman Millennium and protects the Earth. I have to admit, it does have the potential to be interesting.
I didn't just say that.
But it does sound pretty edgy, what with all the collision into Earth's axis and whatnot. This project was expected to happen in around the 2000s, and coincidence or not, around the same time that Tsuburaya's own project Ultra N was brewing. The Ultra N project itself being Tsuburaya's long-term plan of multimedia installments including Ultraman The Next and Ultraman Nexus, which ultimately didn't pan out as expected as well. The three original
Did I say original?
New Ultraman were Ultraman Millennium, Ultraman Elite, and Ultraman Dark. A lot of fans scoff at these names, saying that they obviously sound like knockoffs, and I do agree, but that's not the worst part about them, it's their designs. My god, do these look horrific! Ultraman was designed with an alien look in mind, and these guys do look like aliens, just the kind that would knock on your door at night and ask for your brains instead. Chaiyo somehow thinks this is nice because they even made the Ultra Brothers have this demonic expression. What is with their love of orange eyes? and the design of the three Ultramen is not very good at all. I don't feel hope or heroism looking at them, I feel fear. Obviously Project Ultraman never saw the full light of day, but it was pretty damn close. Casting was done, the theme songs were made, the damn theme park was in pre-production, Millennium, Elite and Dark had appeared in stage shows already, but the plug was ultimately pulled just in time.
But how did this happen in the first place?
Basically because of a collaboration project titled Hanuman and the Ultra Brothers. Notice who came first in that title. Because of this collab and some subsequent shifty documentation, Chaiyo claimed the rights to the first 6 Showa Ultraman and continued to parade them around for so long, making these unlicensed, orange-eyed, shiny suits, and then they grew a bigger head and came up with the aforementioned Project Ultraman. However, at least on the bright side, so many people were exposed to Ultraman thanks to Chaiyo, even if they impeded Tsuburaya's business for a long time, and I am glad its era is over. Another place that really loves Ultraman is China. And that's not a bad thing, of course. However, what is bad is that a company called Blue Arc went and produced their own movie titled Dragon Force So Long Ultraman.
Those sons of a bitch!
That title is a mouthful, and it doesn't even make sense. This movie is crazy stupid, and the stupidest thing about it is how it got made. Long story short,
when a company loves another company's product very much, they make lots of vague lies and vague evidence to prove that they have these vague copyrights.
Once again, Chaiyo Productions conferred the non-existent rights to UM Corporation, who claims to then have the international rights to the shows everywhere but Thailand and Japan. What the heck? Anyway, one thing led to another, and UM Corporation got Blue Arc, a Chinese animation studio, to produce exclusive Ultraman movies. What the heck were they smoking? And they made a sequel and a TV series too at that. Now, Dragon Force was an original IP of Blue Arc, some sort of superpowered hero team. It had its own movie, but went barely noticed, so they recycled the whole movie and slapped Ultraman on it and called it a movie.
Oh, this one was noticed, alright.
Ultraman is horrific in this movie. Why'd they make him weirdly toned and ugh, he just represents the pain of all things Ultraman. And a press event which involved this live action portrayal of Ultraman came along too. Why? Anyway, fortunately, the movie received terrible reviews, both from foreign and domestic audiences. Literally everybody hated these projects except for the people who were behind them, or who were absolutely convinced they were doing the right thing. Later on, a US court ruled in favor of Tsuburaya Productions and the films were banned. Now here's the funny thing about all this illegal stuff. Most of the time, it's actually just Chaiyo Productions who are obsessed with the Ultra franchise and license out the brand here and there, and they are really obsessed. And that's not even counting unmade projects like Jambork Ace vs Ninja Panda and Ultraman vs Gamola in the Japan Olympics 2020! The Japan Olympics 2020! And they tried to cast Will Smith in the role. At long last, in 2019, the disputes were settled once and for all, and Tsuburaya regained full rights to everything Ultraman related everywhere in the world.
Surely now that all the dust has settled on the copyright stuff, no one would try to misuse the Ultraman license, right?
Kaiju Combat. A very recent case, Tsuburaya Productions has since distanced themselves from the project Ultraman Kaiju Combat and its creators' elevated games. Now, Kaiju Combat was originally conceived as a strategy, chess-like game not unlike Fire Emblem or Advance Wars, with the characters of Ultraman. Then, after some news here and there, they disappeared for a very long time, and came back with a vengeance earlier in 2021. The game they claimed to be making somehow became something of an augmented reality board game, and started advertising non-fungible tokens, or NFTs for short. NFTs generally have a pretty bad reputation among people because they damage the environment and are expensive. Basically, buying NFTs is like buying art, but it's virtual and you're the only one who owns it, and you're also polluting the environment by supporting Ethereum. Anyway, Kaiju Combat was originally licensed and in the knowledge of Tsuburaya Productions. But what isn't to their knowledge was their whole NFT shtick. Seriously, why is every company trying out this thing? They tried selling these hideous 3D renditions of the characters to people. Like, if you're gonna do this, make a better product at least. And not only that, the developers also did some weird stuff online, like attempting to turn some fan artists' work into an NFT and refusing to address people's questions outside of their Discord server. After some outcry by the fans about this honestly detrimental behavior, Tsuburaya put out a statement saying Kaiju Combat would not be affiliated with them anymore.
Spooky stuff, aren't they? Definitely some really scary stuff to tell on a Halloween night. Well, I've got some really good stories now.
Regardless if it's selling well or not, Ultraman is iconic, and therefore many people are also jumping at the chance to take advantage of the brand name. Thank goodness Tsuburaya finally managed to put all the issues aside for good, and with that, licensing issues have almost died down. Ultraman is at its most stable position than ever, and let's hope that it stays that way.
The stories kind of ended on a happy note, so it kind of diminishes their scariness. But I've got just the thing to amp up the scariness again.
Oh my goodness!